SwissBorg is the official partner of my channel where you can buy, sell, hold, and more importantly stake your cryptocurrencies. You can even earn yield on your stablecoins. Sign up with my link and you'll earn up to $100 worth of their native token CHSB just for depositing €50 worth of crypto. SwissBorg. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's think about altcoins, shall we? I've got a few at the top of my screen here. These are some of the ones that I've got and I've bought, and I'm sitting on waiting for this. Well, we can call it an alt rally, alt season, or whatever. But basically, I'm looking for some serious altcoin action. In all fairness, starting anytime now, really. So doesn't mean it's going to start today. But if we look at the total two, and this is something I've been talking about for a while now, this is technically a bullish setup that's gone into a nice bullish retest of a golden cross. We've got golden cross on simples, back down here, golden cross on exponentials, and now we're looking for a move back up. Now, if you watch my channel regularly, you'll see that I'm talking about this sort of setup all the time. We saw the same thing with the euro. We waited for the golden cross and the pullback into it, to which we then made money out of. So look, it's going to come down into this. We're going to go, poosh, there you go. Did the same thing for gold. S&P's more or less done the same thing. Bitcoin did the same sort of thing. Total 2 is doing the same thing too. Apart from the best thing about Total 2 is that we're actually very close to the low on this, which means that if we do run up in the same way, in the same fashion that all those other charts have done, then from where we are right now, the first target's going to be up here about 13%. Remember, this is market cap to the top target. Well, I say top target, but most likely the top target around 46%, and that's from this very moment in time, not from the retest, where I did say I was doing the altcoin spending spree around this level. Now, obviously, no altcoin is created equal. Some are better than others, obviously, we know that, and some might not move at all, some might go down, but for the most part, they should all trend up. And so, with that said, let's have a think about this is going to sound crazy, but my favorite setup for altcoin at the moment, which is XRP. Short-term time frames looks like a pile of, shite, and yeah, there's nothing great on this that we can see. However, there is a small uptrend on the 4-hourly, battling with this Bollinger Band Center, but for the most part, it's actually pretty lame. Take it to a 12-hourly. Anything on the 12-hourly that we see? Well, there was a retest of 200 exponential. That is a golden cross retest in itself. So there you go, bang, up and away. Moving back down to around 44.5 cents. That would be an entry point on 12-hourly. Daily, what we got going on the daily? Okay, same old deal here. Golden cross, retest of it. Perfect retest, up and away. And wanting to move back down to what could be around 43.5. So a little bit further down is perfectly appropriate for what could be an entry point. But the main thing to think about on what we're looking at here is the 3-day. The 3-day is a really good setup here for what could be a significant trend. Now, we're looking at this on the live stream, and this big box here, this big box is actually the entire area of where this could go into next. So we're talking like a serious move. So 3-day, we've been down here for a few weeks now. Retest, up, down, up. For the most part being supported on the Bollinger Band Center. But the most important thing that we're looking at here is one of these trend signals. So this is an Ichimoku cloud. So we've got price action above the cloud. We've got a cross above the cloud. We've got the Chiku span above price action. These three components mean that there's a trend in play. And if the trend is in play, then we'll be looking for this to continue up. This will only get cancelled out if the Chiku span closes within the price action or the conversion of the baseline cross negative. We haven't had that. So we are expecting this trend to continue. Excuse me. So if we're thinking about this continuing, we've got a few areas to take out first. 10% to the 200 exponential, 12% back up to the 52, and then to the first level of the box is a 30% move. So we're talking like 60 cents, really, to begin with. But as XRP likes to run and rally, we can see moves realistically moving up to basically around 100%, just into the 90% zone, 99%, sorry, and that is roughly around 91, 92. This entire area is absolutely on the table for XRP with a setup like this. And not only the Itchy Cloud and the relationship to golden crosses on other time frames and this 3-day holding up quite nicely, we're also outside of this giant descending trend line here, this huge consolidation. This is what XRP likes to do. This is just the last stage of the prior bear market into a bull market. We broke out, had our first decent run, gave a lot of it back, another big run, and then went on and on and on. So I believe that's to be the case here, and in fact I can show you on another chart here. Where are we? This is basically how we rinse and repeat this market cycle for XRP. So this is XRP, not on the log scale. Obviously, we can put it on a log scale. I just want to show it. We'll do it on a log scale. Turn off all the noise because we just don't really need to see for the most part. So look, this is XRP going back in time to what, 2014, I believe. Yeah, so 2014, big move up, huge consolidation all the way down, and then basically break out the descending triangle. Big move up, all the way down, break out the descending triangle, big move up, all the way down. Obviously, this is a log scale, so they're not matching. I don't like to look at it on log scale. You could do it on the log scale. I'm just trying to show you the rinse and repeat market cycle of XRP. Now, I'm telling you now that this doesn't have to happen in the same way, but it most likely will. This is what XRP likes to do. It spends the vast majority of its time consolidating from an enormous pump, and then it breaks out and gets ready for the next big pump. This one didn't reach a new all-time high, unfortunately. SEC basically nipped that one in the bud. Now, with or without the SEC, court case, whatever, I'm looking at this from a technical perspective. The technicals are telling me here that we're looking to recreate the same thing that we've always done. Big move up and then a big long sort of consolidation back down again. The moves up can take anywhere between 6 to 12 months. And so we're at the very beginning stages of that. They would normally dwarf the previous high. This one didn't do that, again, like I say, because of the SEC, but it did do okay regardless, in spite of what was going on over there. The market cycle did rinse and repeat. It just didn't make a new high. No big deal. No big deal. I would be looking for this one to make a new local high here, and maybe a new all-time high by the time this market cycle for XRP is finished. Why? Well, it just makes perfect sense to me. The SEC can only do so much damage, and the chances of them winning over XRP, in my opinion, is quite slim. If anyone watched what happened with Kin back in the last sort of bull market, a few years back now, several years back now, seems like a long time ago in crypto, they were doing the same thing, and Kin basically just exploded again, because they couldn't beat them. They came to some kind of settlement. XRP is not Kin token, right? It's not KuCoin. It's a very different being. They're a very powerful, very decent project, and they've got a lot of money behind them. It's very unlikely that something negative is going to come out from this SEC thing. The SEC, to me, keep proving how incompetent and biased they are, and I would expect this to resolve to the up anyway, with or without that. But it's going to work out. So all I'm pointing out to you is that the 3-day has a trend signal. The rinse and repeat market cycle is also telling us that upside is the more likely risk to reward factor here. So risk to reward when we're talking about what could be 100 to 200 to 3 or 400% gain versus what might be a 50% pullback, and that's the case for most altcoins. I was talking on the Patreon stream last night about risk to reward for long-term positions. Buying altcoins right now and holding them for a 2-year period is pretty decent. Now, the risk to reward would be like a 500 to 1,000% gain versus a 50 to 60% loss. This is, again, not complete loss for the most part. This is risk to reward for an investment perspective. You might see your investment go down by 50% or more before you actually see your investment go up by 500 to 1,000%. That's risk to reward, and the risk, is nothing in comparison to the reward. We're talking about a 2-year period, buy, hold, and stake if you can stake it on SwissBorg or wherever. So the risk to reward is good for the long term, but on the short term for XRP, the risk to reward is also pretty good. And I actually think that this is one of the better charts, from a technical perspective, to buy into. Now, obviously, you'll go on to Binance or wherever, and in a few weeks, XRP might have done some gains, it might have done nothing, and then you'll see some furry doji altcoin, that's gone completely parabolic, and you'll say, I thought you said XRP was a blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, yeah, because from a trader's perspective, risk to reward is good. If you want to increase your risk with potential increased reward, that's what these meme tokens are for. Sometimes they do generate signals that you can take notice of, but sometimes they just make no sense and they just go completely mad, like Pepe, for instance. Either way, From a risk to reward standpoint, short term and long term, most altcoins do look okay, but XRP looks one of the best. So yeah, I'm not asking you to take note of what it is that I've been trading at all. I mean, or what I've been buying, but some of these coins have been responding very well to signals and setups. Jasmine being one of the better ones of recent. So it's not something that we can just say, oh well, you know, some things move up, some things move down. The market is generally trending as one, which is a good sign, especially when you think about the lens that we're looking at, which is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. That looks like it's relatively low compared to where it wants to go. So the risk to reward on that chart is pretty good. Some charts actually look better than others, like XRP, surprisingly ICP as well, and obviously Jasmine, which is why I've made several videos, you know, over the last week about it. And now what we've done is like a 25% gain. I'm on the wrong one here. I don't want BUSD, but you know, the technicals do seem to be working. And this one, you know, we checked this on the stream again last night, and it hit exactly the targets that we'd laid out for it on not just the Patreon but on my YouTube channel in general. And here we go. So you know, some things are working on their own on a technical basis. Jasmine is a terrible chart generally speaking, but it has responded to setups and signals very well and more or less hit the target that we were looking for, that 0.8%. And to be honest with you, with the state of the market, the way that it looks, especially with the total 2, we'll have a look at total 3 actually. Total, I can't spell today. Total 3, we'll have a look at total 3. I imagine looking basically like a carbon copy of total 2, but we'll see. Actually, no, it's not quite as good. So we do need Ethereum to pick up pace in order to pump all of these smaller coins. So yeah, with the exception of Ethereum, yeah, the altcoin market cap doesn't look particularly good. Things will change though above 375 billion. And yeah, we'll be looking for some bigger gains. So it's all about the total 2 chart, which actually is good. So, oh God, what is going on? I can't spell. Right, screw that. You know, part of it I think is because I've been doing loads of exercise this morning. My arms are all a bit shaky and stuff. Right. So, with that in mind, we'll finish off just by looking at Ethereum, as we now recognize that Ethereum has well, it's all in Ethereum's hands really. So what have we got here on the 3-day? So on the 3-day, similar to XRP, we do have a trend signal in play. That's good. So that looks like it wants to trend up. Let's have a look at the daily. What's going on the daily? Positions above all major moving averages, which is good. Rejection again on this 2000, which is fine because that's just a super resistance. That was a big move up yesterday, big pullback today. So a lot of the altcoins are at the mercy of Ethereum. So Ethereum is the key here. Break and close above 2000, I believe we'll have some serious moves up. Actually, we're getting our first positive cross on the histogram here above the 0 point. So I actually think that Ethereum looks like it wants to break out too. And once we've broken out from 2000, yeah, we've got a local high around here, 2130. But actually, I'll be looking for this to move up into 2004 to 2500, which for Ethereum, from where we're at right now, would be a move roughly of about 30%. So this gives the ability for the total 2, then maybe the total 3, to all start really breaking out to hitting those targets of what 14 to what 40 odd % on the total 2. And obviously for total 3, once that gets going, because on most of these altcoins, most of them are doing exactly the same thing. Their charts are more or less doing exactly the same thing. They're not really doing their own thing. They're being carried by the market. But once they start to build up momentum and pace and generate their own setups and signals, that's when alt seasons and continuation on their own charts will develop. So basically, long story short, of course there's risk involved in picking up altcoins blindly at these levels, but it's not completely blind. There is a clue, and the clue is the total 3 and the total 2 and Ethereum's chart. Both of those are offering signs of life. More than that, actually, they're showing a bullish setup to scoop things up when they're relatively low. The Bitcoin dominance chart still within the box of resistance. It is a bullish chart, though, I have to say. It's definitely a bullish chart. But you know, we could be looking at rejections at any point along these levels. I'm not seeing that it wants to be rejected, though, I have to say. It doesn't look like it wants to be rejected. So we should expect Bitcoin to still remain strong. Ethereum, if Ethereum is strong, then the entire market is strong, and we will see something like the total market cap move up to 675 billion to possibly 880 billion. Seems crazy to say that now, but let's just see how this next month takes us, because you know, you've got to be patient when you're trading daily charts and weekly and obviously 3-day charts like what we looked at with XRP. But overall, it looks pretty good. I have to say, it looks pretty good. Obviously, the traditional markets aren't open today, but as far as traditional markets are concerned, you know, it's all working exactly as expected. Everything's continuing in the way that I expected it to, with or without the FOMC, with or without CPI, with or without job numbers. All of this doesn't really matter anymore. All of that seems like noise, relatively obsolete. There will be a bounce in the dollar at some point down the line. I just don't see that it's going to happen, you know, over the next few weeks, probably not even over the next, you know, 2 to 4 weeks, which is all we really need to have those sort of big moves up for these altcoins. So, like I say, the spending spree has been done. I will allow that to take place. The 30% that I rotated out of Bitcoin into altcoins still remains at 30%, and I will be looking to put in that final 20% at some point down the line. But I am basically, for the record, heavily into altcoins now from this week. More altcoins this week than I've had, you know, throughout that rotation period, because I've been spending Tether this time rather than just rotating from the Bitcoin I bought at 21,000. So looking for some altcoin magic to take place over the coming weeks. Right. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day, good weekend. Take it easy.